Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 678. Now, in this episode, we're talking about the money mind. How you can, like I was thinking, like the abundance code. How can we unlock it? How can we change our future path of being able to have what we want with the security and, of course, the freedom even that we desire. So on this episode, that is what we're going to be talking about. If you're listening to this on the podcast or on the free hypnosis app, this is being recorded live on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and probably that's it. So feel free to reach out and join us. So that means you can be a part of the pre-show, the after show, and we can actually get to know each other. There's so many familiar faces here, so it's always nice to see them and communicate, get questions asked, and all those kind of things. So let's get into today's episode about getting the abundance, unlocking the mind to be able to get what we want. First of all, let's have like the premise that if we're not where we want to be, it means we're probably in a state of scarcity, a state of doubt, a state of conflict that is stopping us get to where we really want to be. And I want to break this down to probably around 6 principles of getting abundance. And I think you can trust me. And here's why I believe you can do when it comes to these principles. Number 1, I've been in debt. 100% been in debt. Not a crazy amount, but I've been in debt. And bear in mind, I never went to college or university to get into debt. I've been like 50 grand debt, something like that or more. And obviously excluding house debt and things like that. So I know what it's like to be on that side of the equation. But on the other hand, I know how to live an abundant life. Like I feel very abundant over the last 4, 5, 6 years or so when it comes to doing what I love and creating abundance around it. But even if that wasn't enough for you to know that I've been on both sides of a table, I also want you to know that I've worked with some of the most immensely abundant people, from film directors, which you would know the names of, actors and actresses, artists who've got like #1 singles, and had like all that abundance. I've worked with, which is mainly my primary type of person I work with, entrepreneurs who are running millions of dollars per month businesses. So that's not per year, but per month. And I've got the opportunity to model them, to be able to ask questions whilst also helping them let go of their issues. So whether they're going for a life change, an imposter syndrome, a bit of fear or doubt, I'm there for them to be able to push through that block so they can actually live more and have more abundance and be more successful. But the beauty of it is I get the opportunity to ask them questions to get inside their mind of how they could possibly be abundant in every single way. Now, if we think about it, just starting from the beginning, there'll be 2 conflicts when it comes to the scarcity, when it comes to getting the abundance, or getting in the way of our abundance anyway. And these 2 things are going to be either, we're going to have identity. We're also going to have association. Identity and association. You see, our identity is ultimately going to be our belief systems about what money is. So let's just say if you've gone through life and maybe you are around people who are very bad at money, whether they had like belief systems that the money is the root of all evil, which is an absolute lie. If you model people or saw people having money and losing it, you can start to have a belief about money. Right? You can go, well, the money is a bad thing. It's so hard. If someone said, oh, you got to sell your soul to be able to make money, or it's too hard, you could have been programmed to have a belief system, an identity around money. The belief that you have about yourself and your ability to earn money. So that's going to be one side of the conflict. And then I said the second is going to be our association. Now, what is our association? Our association is how you code the abundance or the lack of it. So when you think of money, you're going to have a certain set of feelings. Now, the more you feel those feelings, the neuroplasticity, the neuro aspect of us will start to be wired up to the scarcity, the worry or doubt, or maybe if you've got like the perfect mind around this association, the absolute abundance of money. For you, it's just coming your way. And you're just like, I love it. I can help people, like depending how your coding is. So if we want to unlock the abundance code to have the money mindset, you've got to get clear on those two things. The two things which would be your identity around money and also your association about it. Let's play a little game with this, right? If you're not driving, in other words, if you're not doing anything, and you can get to this, you can pause it or you can revisit this, but if you're not doing anything, go ahead and close your eyes, right? And as you close your eyes, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about how you see money in your mind. Like if it were in front of you right now, how would you envisage it? How would you associate with it? What's the first thing that comes to mind? And the reason why I'm saying this is your unconscious mind is symbolic. It runs by symbols. So if you have a symbolic representation of how you see money in your mind, how you hear it, how you feel around it, those associations, are they good? Are they bad? What are your feelings? Is it like, does it come and go? Does it feel so distant? Is it far away from you? Is it vibrant? Is it messy? Just notice whatever you notice when it comes to your association to money itself. Just notice that. Now, if you have forms of negativity around money, when you think about this, so it's charged with fear, charged with scarcity, charged with doubt, charged with blahness when it comes to money, then we know there's a problem. But let's go deeper. So remaining with the eyes closed, as you consider looking at money, how you represent it, the symbolic meaning of money, imagine if you could float outside of your body, and as if you're floating outside and you go into the eyes of money. And it sounds weird, but if you were to look through the eyes of money, back at you over there, ask money how it feels like it's treated. Weird question, right? But does money feel respected? Does money feel good around you? No matter what comes up, notice how money feels. If you could embody money and you could look back at yourself over there, what are the associations that you have as money? Because there's two factors here. There's your association to money, but money's association to you. So if, for whatever reason, that money looks back at you and goes, look, you use me and abuse me, you don't treat me with care, you're always like angry and doubtful, whatever it is, does it feel respected? If there is negativity there, although money does not have, depending what our belief systems are, but typically the money does not have emotion, but you notice there were some emotion, or you presumed that there were some belief systems or mindsets that money would fill, it is still your representation. It is still your representation, which means it's your unconscious mind symbolic representation of money once again. So if there's any conflict between the two of those, we're in for some trouble. Because how are we ever meant to get abundant and rich, to have the things that we want in our life, if you have an unconscious belief system about yourself, about money, and on top of that, that money has the same association or a negative association about you? So you've got to get clean and clear of that association. And we'll get into more of the how soon. This is just an idea that I want you to think about. So notice your money association. Now, the other thing that I noticed when it came to entrepreneurs or people with wealth, there's this kind of principle of those who are thinking big versus thinking small. Now, ever since I got into being, I don't know, I don't always like calling myself an entrepreneur or anything like that. I'm sure technically I am, but I just want to live my life and be abundant. But I've noticed that once I started to get more abundant, there was this bigger picture. So in other words, those who are very profound in getting abundance see the depth of vision of who they are and what they're going to do in the future. Whereas people, I've noticed, who have conflicts around money think small. They think of, what if I do this? What if that happens? And it's a weird mentality, because that thinking small, although intentionally, and there's why I said it's a bit weird, because intentionally you're trying to protect yourself, is actually damaging you. That protective mechanism is damaging you. But those who have abundance get to that place of making that abundance grow. Having the mission, the vision, and the ambition to be abundant. And it goes down to like the depth of vision analogy that I've said here before of like an acorn. What's the purpose of an acorn? You might go, well, it's there to feed the squirrel. Okay, that's one level. What's another bigger maybe mission? Well, maybe it's to grow into a tree, right? An oak tree. Well, yeah, that's another depth of vision. But what's bigger than that? Well, maybe it's to grow a forest. Yeah, that's a bigger one, because the bigger vision of that is more acorns begin to land and feed and also grow more. But what's a bigger depth of vision there? Well, maybe that wood will become a house. It'll become a book. Now think of a depth of vision of now that book. Maybe it's educating people, maybe it's setting free people of their issues, maybe it's causing them to level up in their education at school. Maybe that house is allowing them to be able to have security. You see, the depth of vision is your ability to go beyond what you thought was possible. So most people who are very successful when it comes to money and abundance, they're not stuck in small-time thinking. They're starting from a place, or they get to a place of thinking big picture. And of course, following it up with massive and inspired action. And we'll get to more about that soon. But realize, and the reason why I'm saying this is, you should start now. You don't have to get abundant to start to think big. You've got to just break your mindset down to thinking small to thinking big and allowing yourself to start in this moment. That's what we got to do. Now, that also, if we take that into two things, if we just kind of split it out a little bit, so we've got big picture, small thinking. There's also a notice of entrepreneurs or wealthy people, or successful people, they have this proactive and reactive. Those who are wealthy are very proactive. Those who are not that abundant and scarcity, they're reactive all the time. They're always reacting to their circumstance rather being proactive to create your circumstance. That is a huge game changer. Now, once again, very much like thinking small, it's a protection mechanism when we are in this reactive state. We're reacting to debt, we're reacting to our environment, but it always keeps us stuck. It always keeps us in the same place. Whereas when you're proactive, that massive and inspired action, and you're planning now and you're doing the things you gotta do now, that is when you'll start to change. That is when you start to grow. That goes into my third one, because that proactiveness is your ability or your ability and your depth of investment within yourself. Every successful financial person I know, like I said, I've modeled them. I've been in their vicinity. I've been in a room of entrepreneurs, which probably what they generate every single, as a group, would be like $50 million every single month. So I've witnessed and experienced this in real time, and I've asked the questions. I've learned so much. I've worked with them. And every time when there was trouble, they invested themselves out of trouble, which is so counterintuitive. Most people don't do that. Most people go into that prior one of the reactive state, the fear-based state, the fight and flight, the play small. But no, it's a weird psychology shift when you start to go, actually, I'm going to invest myself out of my situation. And that got me thinking, because my biggest yields have been based on my biggest investments. So the more that I've invested in myself, I've actually acquired more wealth. The smallest I've invested was actually the least yielding. And it does kind of make sense, right? Because you're investing with someone who knows the skill set, who can get you to a next level, can teach you a business, can teach you how to let go of the imposter syndrome and get to where you want to be, all those types of things. The closer to the abundance, the closer to the mindset and the success, the easier it is to be able to get there. And obviously you got to pay your way into that. You don't get that for free, unfortunately. So that is where people start to invest. And I was reflecting and I was like, I remember, and we talked about this, I think, on the Q&A, I put like 25 grand in a year. I put a one-time payment of 9,000 on my credit card when I didn't have it, but I went all in on it. It was like burning the bridges, right? You buy your way out of it. You invest in yourself out of the trouble that you're in. Now, I don't give financial advice, of course, so don't take this. I'm not a professional at all when it comes to financial advice, but what I do know is what I can witness and what I can experience. And that is what I've learned over the years. But those, even when they have nothing, they burn the bridge where they can't go back, or they burn the boats, whichever saying suits you. And they be able to go all in on themselves. And the bigger the investment, the bigger the return, because you are investing in your own stock. We sometimes think, well, I'm just giving money away. No, you're giving money to you. Because, or you're giving, if it's not money, say like you're not, you want to just say let go of something on so you're going for a divorce and you want to let go of the pain of that. Well, yeah, you're not necessarily getting money back, but you're getting the emotional freedom back. And that means you are building yourself up. So don't ever get into this poor mindset, because we do. We're normal because we're in that reactive state of protection and safety. But I promise you, it's never going to help you. And I'm not selling my stuff here. That's why I wanted to come up with a divorce one. I could do, but I don't choose to work with that issue as such. I'm saying this if you want to get successful. I'm saying this if you want to be able to have the abundance code. Those who actually invest in something big is actually investing something bigger within themselves. They don't see it as a cost. They see it as an ability to get out of a situation and get more than they could ever imagine in every single way. So just remember that. These are, you could say, convenient assumptions. We said, look, we got to be aware of our belief system and our association around money. And that was that quick little exercise of looking through the eyes of yourself and also money. We also said that the ability from thinking big to thinking small, and that proactive and the reactive state. And then thirdly, we said, look, investing your way out of trouble, investing your way into success, investing your way into yourself to build yourself up. The bigger the amount, the bigger the return. I know that, by the way. That's not, like I said, I've had that principle. I'm a bit of a risk taker these days. I never used to be when I was growing up, because I never felt like I was worthy, deserving, or enough to do so. But once I had to learn about business, I had to really go into those belief systems about myself. I had to be able to charge what I was worth. I had to go ahead and look for the success, because at the end of the day, it was allowing me to help more people in the world. That investment wasn't only in myself, it wasn't only in my security, it wasn't only in my freedom. That investment was actually in those people who listen to my work or who watch my work. It allowed me to be able to produce more content, allow more freedom in my life to be able to do this for free around the world. Yeah, I had my main program and my clients and things like that. I couldn't give all this stuff for free if I didn't do so. But that ability to invest in myself, I see the bigger vision, mission, and ambition, the depth of that acorn as actually helping more people in the world. I'm not going to do anyone any favors or help if I'm not able to help people by helping myself first. So remember that one. But of course, the easy one is the gratitude. Right? That's going to be our fourth one, the gratitude. And I always say, most people don't say this or teach this, but look, gratitude happens in phases. The first phase is having the gratitude for what you have. Because it's easy, right? I'm grateful I have a roof. I'm grateful I have clothes. I'm grateful that I have the ability to eat today. Not everyone does. Not everyone has clean water. So be blooming well grateful for what you have, because that's going to start to integrate and get your unconscious mind to get out of the fear base, to get out the the reactive space, to get out the thinking small, into the present of what you have in your life. And I was just about to go there in my voice, but the second part of that, having got the gratitude for what you have, is to have the gratitude for who you are in this world. Begin to be more selfish, and I think it's not selfish at all, and that is to be grateful for your qualities. It doesn't matter about all the good or the bad things about yourself, the bad attributes. Look, we're not all perfect. No one is. We need to be able to be grateful for the qualities that we have. The qualities, and if it's hard, just like the money situation, like I said, look through the eyes of money, look through the eyes of your best friend, look through the eyes of your dog or your cat, look through the eyes of someone who loves you. Because when you do, you'll be able to start to get out your own way and start to get the gratitude for the qualities you have. You owe yourself that. You owe yourself. It is your birthright to begin to live that gratitude for who you are. Because at the end of the day, if you're not getting it from other people, or even if you are getting it from other people, you will never believe it if you don't start to believe it within yourself. So at the very least, be grateful for what you have. Be grateful for the attributes, even if you're not totally perfect yet, which you'll never get to because you are ever growing and ever transforming. And then the third one, it's like a gateway system. You have to be able to be gratitude for what you have, because that's easy. The second one, harder, which is the gratitude for who you are. And then the third one, which is a little bit harder, is the gratitude for what is coming your way. Every person who is healthy, who is wealthy, who is totally abundant, is knowing the good and greatness is coming their way. They know that the abundance is coming their way. It's their birthright, because they know they can live more freedom. They know that they can help more people, because even in those who are entrepreneurs, and we'll break it down to a couple of things when it comes to my clients, those entrepreneurs are employing people. They are helping people have food on their table for their children, putting them through college. That's one level, the people that they employ in their business, but then you got the other level, which is those who they serve. They're liberating, or they're solving an issue. So think about that once again, that depth of vision. So therefore, they're grateful for all the good things coming their way, because it means they can help more people in the future through their helping their employees or helping their customers. Even if you take it to, though, for example, a film director I worked with. And this film director, and I can never say the names because I've signed things, but some of the movies, almost went into genders there, some of the movies are just so crazy inspirational. Like, it blows my mind how you can create something like that. And just think about that level of gratitude of creating something and having an impact in film. Or whether it be an athlete who's going to maybe inspire a child one day. You see, that depth of vision keeps on growing. So you got to have the gratitude for coming your way, because you're going to be able to create more and be more. Now, the last two is going to really get into, I'm going to do a quick one here actually, which is whatever you want wants you to, whatever your desire desires you to. If you are in your mind unconsciously, because of the prison that we've created, that limiting belief of not being enough and not being worthy and not being deserving and not being capable, you are unconsciously wanting more of the same. It doesn't make a judgment. It's going, well, this is what radio station we're tuning into. We're tuning into Scarcity 105 FM, if that's even a number, who knows. Let's say 105.5 100.5 FM. Let's go for that one. You're going into that station, that music, and that scarcity music, it doesn't feel very good. But that's what we're tuning into because that's what we're unconsciously desiring because that's all it's known. But if you start to tune in to the gratitude for who you are and what you have and what's coming your way, guess what? You're now moving the dial across and tuning in to maybe 109 FM. And maybe that's the abundance channel. Maybe that's the station which is uplifting. Remember, whatever you want wants you to. Whatever you desire, desires you too. But what are we unconsciously communicating? Are we desiring? I'm not saying you consciously desire it. I'm saying that we've been programmed to be able to be desiring more scarcity, being a victim or being hurt, or because it's all we've known maybe. Maybe people did say those things. They did those mean things. But if we're tuning into it now, even though it's happened, it's never going to support us. Those who are successful really get that attitude, but they're not going to be the victim of their life. They're going to be the victor of it. They're going to start to tune in to whatever they desire, knowing it desires them. It makes them radiate it. It makes them just remember exactly what they're after. They go into the end feeling of what it will give them, going, I'm going to get nothing less than that. This is a life. I'm not going to think about just the thing that I want. Let's just say, look, you don't even want money. And you're like, Joseph, of course you want money. I don't think you do. Now, what do I mean by that? That you don't want money. You don't want that. You want what it gives you. You don't want money. It's a byproduct of something. You want what money gives you because money will give you freedom. Money will give you security. Money will create the charity. Money will make the difference in the world. Money will grow a business so you can employ people and feed their family and put their children through college. That will allow your customers to feel better because you're solving issues. That's what you want. Money is just a thing. It's a number. And if you're just going, well, I want $10 million every year, I want $100,000 every single month, or I want $5,000 per month, you don't. It's good to have in your mind, but remember why you want it. What's it going to give you? And then lastly, what I would say, I'm going to combine these two to make it a little bit easier, because I said it was 6 things, so we're going to be a little bit cheeky here. I've noticed those who are truly successful in their abundance. They do 2 things. They do what they like or love most of the time. Because how are we meant to get abundance if we have a resistance of financial by the doing? So in other words, if you're doing a job you hate, then that resistance is going to create the self-sabotage and the doubt. There's too much resistance there, but if you start to do more of what you love, and I think you can monetize anything, right? There's always an example out there. Always an example of someone monetizing something that they love. Look for it. Think about something you love or something that you love doing. See and look out there online if there's anyone who's being very abundant at it. I'm sure there is for every one of those scenarios. So do what you love most of the time. Because when you do, we're tuning into what we want. You're radiating whatever you desire, and it's now desiring you. And then the second part of that is to have what I would call a sphere of influence. How am I ever meant to grow outside of my own mindset if I'm surrounding myself with either no one or people with the same mindset as me? Because I am limiting my own system because I haven't got the abundance, for example. If I'm surrounding myself with the same mindset and maybe they're telling me their beliefs around money, that you can't do this, you can't have that, who are you to earn this amount of money, who are you to get paid and do what you love, of course you're going to be held down. Not on purpose, I hope not anyway, but it's simply they're playing out their own stories and that story becomes part of your story. So you have to surround yourself with those who understand you, where you feel like you belong, where you feel like you are heard, where you feel like you're just absolutely inspired. I always like the idea, and I've heard this so often, is to be the most, it sounds bad, but I'm going to say it, but to be the most stupid person in the room. So take it how you want, but what it really means is that you want to stand on the shoulder of those giants. You want to be able to be the person in the room who's just like, oh my goodness, that person knows more than me, that person knows more than me, that person's inspiring, because that means you are not at the top. That means you've got something to learn, because if you are the most intelligent person in the room, and you're not where you want to be, how are you meant to grow? How are you meant to learn more? You've got to surround yourself with people who will encourage you, who will be an example for you of being the abundance. And that's why I said when I've been in rooms, and I'm going into another one of those rooms in early next month, like the 3rd or 5th of March. No, it is March. I would have missed it. Of April. And I'm going to be surrounded with people who are life-changing people, who are transforming the world one person at a time. And if I'm in that place, and I'm like, wow, what can I learn here? Then I'm going to learn. Surround yourself with people who know the answers to your questions. Surround yourself with people who can show you how to get there. Don't go the slow route. Don't go the route which just like will take you forever because you're trying to figure it out yourself. Because if you knew it, you'd have done it. Not to say you won't ever get there, but if you want the shortcut, if you want to get there quick, as fast as humanly possible, the only way you do that is be able to get the knowledge, get the insight, and apply it. And the only way you do that is surrounding yourself or hiring someone, investing in someone, investing in yourself to be able to get that knowledge and just pour it inside of you. When you're surrounded by that sphere of influence who just encourages you, you're changing your energetic state, your frequency to that abundance in every single way. And like I said, these principles are not things I've just come up with. These are, I would probably say, more strategies that you can apply to yourself based on tested information. You can do that in every single way. Just follow those roughly 6 principles at the very least, which was 1. Get rid of that bad money association, whether it be association or belief system. If you did that visual exercise and there was doubt on either or both, we're in a bit of trouble there. So clean that out. Step up and make a difference there. Number 2, the difference between thinking big and thinking small, and the proactive and the reactive state. Number 3, and that's the counterintuitive part, which is investing your way out of trouble. The bigger the investment, the bigger the return. And think about that when it comes to your own ability of being more abundant. Playing small, playing fear-based reaction, being scared, shying away from situations is never going to get you there. Counterintuitive, but it's something that we have to go ahead and do in every single way. Number 4 was to be able to have that gratitude. Remember, 3 phases of gratitude. For what you have, the easiest. The second easiest would be for the qualities that you have about yourself. And if you struggle with that one, look through the eyes of someone who you know, who loves you, likes you, and think about what they see in you. And then the third one even is the gratitude for what is coming your way. When we do that, that is when we start to really make changes. And then we sit number 5, which is whatever you want wants you to. Tune into that frequency and really get into it. And the last one was kind of like a 6.1 and a 6.2, which is one of the 6, is to do what you love. And also, the second part of that is to surround yourself with people who will solve it with you, or where you can be inspired, where you can be connected, where you can see examples of the transformation or the life that you want, and they're in your mind. If you're surrounding yourself with people who don't have what you want, then you're in trouble. If you surround yourself with people who have what you want, you're getting into abundance. You're getting into that state of choice and freedom. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you really start to apply those principles. And of course, if you want my help personally to be able to let go of the blocks, be able to get you to where you want to be. And yes, there's an investment. You got to apply for it as well. We don't take on anyone. We're the right person when we know we get the results. And that's josephclough.info/talk. We'll get clear on where you are. We'll get clear on where you want to be. We'll get clear on what's unconsciously stopping you. And then we'll figure out a custom, fully tailored system system for your needs to get you there in the quickest possible time. So that's josephclough.info/talk, and that means you can apply for the program. Once again, there's an investment to it. It is for professionals. It's those who are willing to kind of do those 6 principles. And if you're not there, that's no problems at all, because you can go ahead. Like I said, it kind of goes against a little bit about it, but if you're really not ready to invest in yourself to a big or higher level, then go ahead and just download the free hypnosis app. It's free to download. You've got over 678 free episodes in there when this one is released. And that means immerse yourself every single day and become the person you want to be until you get to that level of willingness to go, yeah, I'm now all in, Joseph. It's all there for you. You can also unlock the app and listen to in the day. You can listen to as you go to sleep at night. And it's there to support you. Like I said, that's why I've been doing the podcast for all these years, because I want to help people. And of course, if you want to help me help more people, go ahead and leave a review on the app, and therefore we can shine a little bit brighter together as a unity, as a team, because your words will mean that you'll be kind of supporting them and kind of go, oh yeah, download the app, it's great. If that's what you thought, people have a little bit more confidence in doing so. Once again, I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and always know, whatever you think you are always more. You're always ready to receive more, get more, be more, have more, do more. It all starts with you. So unlock the abundance code. Get the money mindset. It is all there for you to have. So once again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to speaking to you on a future episode. Many thanks and goodbye.